Hello traders, Vladimir here. This is the live market review, 6th of July 2017. FOMC did not bring nothing yesterday. Some of the Fed members do support continue the hikes of the rates further this year. Some of them are doubtful that this is the right thing to do. It didn't change the market and nothing in the market at all. And it seems that the market is waiting for the next important thing, and that would be Friday non-farm payrolls. Meanwhile, the ADP, the pre-non-farm payrolls report, shows a drop on the numbers, which might be some kind of a hint for what to come during the non-farm payrolls. We saw bid numbers in Canada in terms of trade balance. However, the building permits turned to be extremely high compared to any prediction before. It was 8.9%, unbelievably amazing. And the ISM in the US turned to be surprisingly good, which kind of pushes the dollar versus the majors a bit. Tomorrow is the main event, the main thing. Not just the G20 meetings, but non-farm payrolls as well, and a speech from Carney, and then the monetary policy report from the Fed. So busy Friday is coming. So what do we trade meanwhile? Let's start with the dollar Canadian. While this daily low holds, as I explained on yesterday's video, we are good for possible retraces to the upside. If we break through, it will probably last longer until 11th, 14th, 15th day. So we have a lot of time for that if the low breaks. But if it holds, we got a first move yesterday. It did not break this high, but it did break. It did create a triple movement up and double movement down right now. So while it holds, break above this trend line, and ideally rally above this high, should bring this further move to the upside. So let's see how the pair will behave from here. Next one is the New Zealandian yen, which is considered still bearish, but it's moving very slow. Technically, this pair has all the reasons to drop down for at least 100 points to this area, maybe even further. To make correction for this cycle and correction for this cycle. So while the daily top holds, we remain in a bearish idea. The pair has still this range. Okay, break below that and then sell retraces could be a good idea for that pair. This one would be the first cycle to pay attention to, the 38 down to 50 as targets, and then we grow to bigger one in the views. New Zealandian dollar finally breaks below this area, but the momentum, as per momentum, is not there yet, which is kind of a warning sign for me anyway. The idea remains the same. As long as daily top holds, we will be looking for the sells. And once we make the correction below here or to the next areas, we will go and switch probably for further buys, unless the momentum would gain some real power. Aussie dollar continues its correction to the downside, and as long as the divergence did not complete, bearish plan remains on, and we might be going to below this low as a target. The Kiwi does nothing, and still we would be aiming for ideally 103 zone, a bit higher, a bit lower. Definitely want to follow that. Our plan did not change here. Cat franc, we want pullbacks from this area, right? We want to see these pullbacks and buys again. So short-term shorts could be an idea. We need false breaks or trendline breakouts to give us the entry. Okay, that would be our direction. Euro pound does nothing, still holding its range we don't have the breakouts yet. Still moving inside, nothing happening. And as I said yesterday and during a weekly forecast, if it does not gain the momentum, there is a very good chance we are after 0.89 up to 0.90 before the bears wake up and take the control over again. Pound dollar, that were our two options yesterday. One, we are going for this. Two is we are breaking above this high, which we did, and we are looking for convergence, which did not. You can see that here. So there was no convergence, there was no reliable breakout, there was nothing we can rely on and actually use for our needs. Therefore, we just let it go. As for now, Euro franc, we've been bullish for a while, as you know from the weekly forecast. And now we are on the first target zone we were talking about, 110. So guys, those of you who are in the longs, for longs, now it's time to cash out partially and start to enjoy the first portion of profits. Next leg should take us towards 111, 112, maybe even 113. But meanwhile, we kind of have a cycle here on the 4-hour chart, so I would expect some pullbacks to happen somewhere on the coming period. Not there yet. So it's good time though with this divergence developing. Cash out partial and enjoy your profits. So that, for those of you who are in longs, of course. Pound Canadian, as long as the daily low holds, we are after buys as well. Finishing this cycle. 4-hour chart false breaks, two options. Option number one, aggressive with the break of the trend line. If we can establish itself above, we can discuss of buy retraces. Option number two is more conservative, and that would be the break above the high, retrace into waves and entry. Euro versus the Kiwi, a pair that broke the range here and should continue this rally to the upside. So every drop down while the lows holds should use us as a buy opportunity, buy continuation. And that's same of course for the pound Kiwi as well. And one more is the dollar franc, which is moving beautifully as wanted. Special cycle first of all here, and double cycle as per correction right now. The deeper we go lower, as long as this low holds, the better the buys would be. But currently we already have this trend line, right? We already have this divergence building up, so break above could be considered as a buy opportunity as well. But we want to see that actually going lower. How lower? We have the cycles for that here, right? We are currently on 61.8, which might be enough, of course, but by ideal that would be right here. So 0.96 zone. If we drop that there, it could be really, really nice follow-up for buys with the trend line breakout as suggested. Silver, we wanted to go further. We wanted to get us to below 1550. And with the breakouts to the upside after that, we are after buys and buys and buys and buys and buys. The more the better for such opportunities. Oil, well, oil, to be honest, I don't have a real setup right now. So sell rallies, as long as this top holds, sounds like the right thing for me for second leg, or maybe even for new lows. So we have to watch how that goes. And the last one is the Nasdaq, that this is the low we want to see broken. Once it does, that's a great call for us to go and sell rallies as long as the daily top holds. The plan did not change here, guys. We've been following it for a while. You know all these levels, you know all these plans. But we just need to go over it again and make sure we have the updates, right? So the trend lines updated, the levels updated, and so on. So that will be actually all for today. More than enough opportunities to follow. Remember NFP, a heavy event tomorrow. It could be effective on the market, could have some impact. And that will be all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you wonderful trading and happy weekend to come soon. Yours, Vladimir.